Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Israeli, where I try to explain all things Israel. I was hoping to talk on this channel about more internal things in Israel, but the situation being as it is at the moment, I guess I'll be dealing with the war and escalation that is happening in the south of Israel between Gaza and Israel itself. But today I want to talk about actress Gal Gadot and this media frenzy that happened, firestorm, from a tweet that she had where she tried to deal with the situation. So we'll go to the tweet real fast. My heart breaks. My country is at war. I worry for my family, my friends. I worry for my people. This is a vicious cycle that has been going on for far too long. Israel deserves to live as a free and safe nation. Our neighbors deserve the same. I pray for the victims and their families. I pray for this unimaginable hostility to end. I pray for our leaders to find the solution so we could live side by side in peace. I pray for better days. Okay, so people got angry, from what I understand, because she said neighbors instead of Palestine. Um, well, let me read this again to see. My neighbors, we have many neighbors around, not just Palestine. There's also Syria, there's also Egypt, there's also Lebanon, which, if you follow the situation in those countries, is not an easy situation either. The people there are suffering a lot, and not because of Israel this time. So I don't see why people get angry for her using the word neighbors. She's calling for all of Israel's neighbors to live free and safe. But they wanted her to say Palestine, because people will always find something. Instead, it created a firestorm. So here, many were quite hostile and include calls for Gal Gadot to be replaced as the next Wonder Woman film, while also called her out as a Zionist. So here, good. I want to talk about this for the last few videos, and I will now. Zionism. What is Zionism? Many people out there think that by calling people Zionist, it's like a bad word. No, for me, if you call me a Zionist, it's a compliment. I will thank you. Yes? What does Zionism mean? Zionism is a very simple concept. It means that the Jews have the right to a self-determination in their own country. That's all. That's all it means. If you think the Jews have the right to have their own country and have the right to have their own self-determination, just like Christians do, just like Muslims do, just like Buddhists do, just like Hindus do, just like many others do, then you're a Zionist. It's that simple. Now, where you take that Zionism as a person, how you think the country should operate, how you think the country should deal with our neighbors, the Palestinians, and different kind of hostilities, that's a different story. That's a totally different story. And many people who are Zionists have very strong arguments about that within themselves. But Zionism within itself is just the agreement that Jews have the right to have their own country and self-determination. That's all it is. That's all. And calling someone a Zionist, it's not really an insult. So, if you want to, go ahead. As far as I'm concerned, you're not insulting me when you call me a Zionist, for example. And replace Gal Gadot. Let me say something about Gal Gadot as an actress. I don't like her. She's a beautiful woman, no doubt, but I don't really think she's a good actress, and her accent is really annoying. But Wonder Woman is not an Oscar-winning movie. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun, and she's very active. She's very athletic, and people like her. So just because a few of you don't like her because she's from Israel, well, they can replace her with someone else from Israel. Yeah. In my opinion, if somebody's listening out there, check out Moran Atias. Moran Atias can be an amazing Wonder Woman. Okay, so I just said that. Let's continue. Over years before. Let's continue. There was some support, yeah, but we're not here for those who support. Thank you for those who support. Gal Gadot served 2 years where she's not a witness, I think, cleansing of Palestine. Okay, here we go. Gal Gadot served in the IDF for 2 years, where she not only witnessed the ethnic cleansing of Palestine firsthand, but also actively supported it. How can you advocate to stop the vicious cycle of terror when you are standing on the front lines enabling it? Free Palestine. Okay, so, since Trump came to power, many people started talking about fake news and how fake news are destroying um, social media, destroying the media itself, and destroying people's ability to distinguish right from wrong, and all those things. And then came the QAnon that came out of fake news. But when you really look at it, if you go back, one of the first cases of fake news decades ago was the pro-Palestine, anti-Israel people. They keep propagating fake news, and here's a perfect example: ethnic cleansing of Palestine. This dispute, this war, has been going on for almost 100 years. If Israel wanted to ethnically cleanse Palestine, it's doing a very bad job at it, like an extremely bad job. I don't want to go into the figures, but anybody who wants can, and you can see the population growth both in the Palestinian territories and both in the Gaza Strip of the population, how it grew 3 times itself. So if Israel is ethnic cleansing Palestine, it's doing an awful job at it, and this is just a lie. Yeah, and they keep propagating it, because once they say it, they have a right to say anything they want against Israel against it. Because if Israel is ethnically cleansing, then they are the devil. And what do you need to do with the devil? You need to get rid of it, right? This is the way of thinking. And this is like the beginning of fake news, and nobody said anything about it back then. Anything. And now, with QAnon and everything, you see how it can fire back. Let's see who else. Okay, here's another one. And people really said we were exaggerating when we said boycott Gal Gadot, who acts as a literal tool of propaganda for her government and the occupation forces she once served in. She can't even say the word Palestine. To the dustbin of history. Okay, so Gal Gadot is a tool of propaganda. On the first video I made here, answering Trevor Noah, people said that I work for the government and I'm a tool of propaganda. I'm an individual person. I don't work for any government. I wish somebody paid me. I don't get paid by anybody, believe me. And Gal Gadot is not a tool of propaganda either. She has family there. She has friends there. Yes, and missiles are falling out of the sky. Whether you like it or not, I'm not even starting to say now on both sides and all that. Missiles are falling out of the sky. Cars are burning. People are getting beaten up. There's lynch mobs. There's a whole mess. She has the right to worry about her family. Yeah? She has the right to worry. And you people, every time you say that an Israeli is a propaganda tool, yeah? So what you're saying is that unless they speak against Israel and pro-Palestine, and I'll say something about that as well, then they are a propaganda tool. This is shutting people's mouth. Yeah? This is the cancel culture. Again, started way before the cancel culture that everybody's talking about now on the internet. Way before. Yeah? As an Israeli, you're not allowed to talk, to defend Israel. Otherwise, you're a propaganda tool. Now, again, I want to say about this right and wrong, good and bad. Everybody here is doing the same, on both sides, by the way. Those that support and those that don't, even though the pro-Palestinians do it more. Yeah? Both sides are going to stay there, whether you like it or not. The Jews are not going anywhere, the Palestinians are not going anywhere. And trying to decide this is the good guy, this is the bad guy. Go make a Hollywood film and leave us alone. Try to find a solution that fits both people living there. And there are many solutions, and I'll talk about them in other videos, I promise. Gal Gadot speaks for all of us who want peace, not war. This is a pro-Israel post, obviously. And I want to say something about this. Not everybody wants peace. There are people out there in the area that want war. Yeah, from the Palestinians that want war and from the Israelis that want war. But I want to say something else. All those who blame Israel for the aggressor. Look at the map. Gaza and the Palestinian territories are separated from each other. Israel is in the middle. Yeah? Right now in the Palestinian territories, there is no war. There is no escalation. They're living a normal life over there because no rockets and no attacks came out from there. Everything is in the Gaza Strip where they decided to start raining rockets on Israel. Yeah? Now, if all of you who answer back, if it was your country and rockets were falling from the neighboring country on your city, what would you expect your government to do? Okay, social media applies an opinion, blah, blah, blah. Should celebrities weigh in on serious matters? No. No, celebrities should not weigh in on serious matters unless it's part of their life, yeah? Unless it involves them, unless it has an impact on their life, yeah? So generally, no, they shouldn't have an opinion. They shouldn't weigh in on serious matters. But if their family is under threat, if their friends are under threat, if their country is in a situation where it's doing things that you either agree with or don't agree with, but it's your country, then yeah, they can weigh in on those matters. Yeah, they should have a voice just like any citizen of that country should have a voice. Pro-voice, anti-voice, critical voice. I think critical voices are more important than pro-voices and more important than anti-voices. Critical voices try to build a better situation and not to make a bad one worse. Anyway, this is what I have to say about this whole firestorm that's happening with Gal Gadot about the situation now. And this is probably going to continue for as long as this situation continues. And Israel is going to come out the bad guy because Israel is the stronger party. And I just want to say that I am here to defend many of the things that Israel do, but I'm more here to defend what Israel stands for. Yeah, for the right of Israel to exist, for the right of Israel to defend itself. But I'm not here to defend Israel in everything, especially not this government that's in control of the country for the last 15 years. I am not here to defend them at all. They should have had conversations and discussions and negotiations. They should have held out their hand in peace for the last 15 years. And maybe this could have been avoided. They should have talked, tried to help the Palestinians in Gaza, tried to give them a future, tried to give them a hope, as hard as it is with Hamas, which is a terrorist group. Yeah, but there's still 1.5 million people living there, and they should have done more in order to make the people in Gaza's life better. So maybe they would think twice before they decide to throw rockets at Israel, because they would have something to lose. They would have a good life that they would want to keep holding on to. But no, for the last 15 years, the government has done nothing, absolutely nothing. And this makes me angry, very angry, yeah? But going from that, from having a shitty government, I'll say that, a shitty government, but it's still a democratically elected government, to saying that Israel has no right to exist, that Israel is the devil, has no right to defend itself, that's very far-fetching. Yeah? So all of you who are against cancel culture and fake news, think about this whole issue and the way you're looking at it again. Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Yeah? And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.